Ajitek, Veena, Ashok Maheshwari, Surinder Goyal, Rais, Bridget, Rekha, Mutkula Anand, Rajaratnam, Rajendra, Shilpa, Avinash, Shankar, Vipul, and the rest of you I cannot see. Welcome to this Zoom call. I'm sure we will get to see all of you. For those of you who are new to this call, we have this Zoom call every Friday at 7. And thanks to your inspiration, from the last 1 week, we have every day a call at 8. And this is because of these so many seekers who have inspired us to have a daily call. And we all share wisdom. I learn every day from you as I share what I have learned. And the journey continues, the journey to enlightenment. So this is our challenge. Our challenge is to get enlightened. And we all are working towards that. Because this world is full of suffering. And how do we escape from suffering? To escape from suffering, we need to overcome our ignorance. And if we overcome our ignorance, we will be liberated. Many of you have not joined the daily calls, like Margaret. I'm not sure if Margaret, you know Siva and Dr. Kulveer Singh. I'm not sure if many of you are aware of the daily calls. But for those who would like to join, please join the same link every day at 7. Today, every day at 8. The question and answer session every day at 8. Today, our topic is based on the subject that the world is living with fear, stress, worry, anxiety. The whole world is living with so much pain. What is the cure? I'm not going to give you a name of an antibiotic or an antifungal or an antiviral or an injection. I'm going to give you not an injection, but an equation. So today I'm going to give you an equation. And this equation will help you deal with the fear, worry, stress, anxiety of life. What is the equation? I think we will display it on the screen. The equation is acceptance plus surrender equals peace plus bliss. This is the equation that we are going to be talking about today. The equation is a simple subject. Acceptance plus surrender equals peace plus bliss. Thank you. So let us start the journey. We will be talking from between 7 to 8 and 8 sharp, 8 to 8:30. As we normally do, we will have the Ask Air session. And in the Ask Air session, you can ask questions, you can be unmuted. And I would be glad to continue that session every time after we finish the Zoom calls that we've been having. So today, let us discover what is the secret to peace and bliss. Everybody in this world, they want happiness, they want peace, they want bliss. Just now, somebody sent me a message, your friend's father died. And we all are hearing this. We're all, it's not rare, right? Every day we hear, this person, what happened? They died. It is not that people were not dying before, but now death has got into our paranoia. We have become stressed out. Who is dying? Why they are dying? What is this new fungus? What is this new problem? There's a lot of worry and fear and stress and lot of it all over the world, specifically in India. We are facing it. How do you deal with such a situation? I'm not talking only about COVID, so I'm going away from it. I'm just mentioning it. But my question to you is, when the circumstances are so stressful, what do? Suppose somebody came and told you, my young child was driving a car, he had an accident. My child was driving a car, he had an accident. He's in coma. His bones are broken, his legs are fractured, his hands are His rib is broken, rib cage is broken because he was with friends, they were partying, they were drinking. Now my son is in a coma. What do you do? What do you do? Can you change that? Can you go and change that your son was in bad company and your son got hit in an accident and he is now with broken bones in a hospital ICU in a coma? The only thing you can do is to accept, because you can do nothing about it. You can't resist it. You can't resist it, because if you resist it and you cry, you will become more miserable. My guru, he taught me something very profound. He taught me the words Kabul, 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 which means accept, accept, accept. We human beings don't know the art of acceptance. We human beings are, we are so used to being miserable that we just can't accept the fact that this is something of a divine will and we can do nothing about it. We resist it. We look up at the sky. Prabhu, ye kyu hua? We cry. And we don't know the art of acceptance. And why should we accept? Let us understand, if I'm telling you we should accept, let us ask this question, why should we accept? What is the reason? If we live, for example, with fear, this is the second situation of what is going to happen. Okay, somebody else put their hand in an elevator and the hand got cut in this old-fashioned elevators. So all the time you're living with the fear of having an accident in an elevator. I'm not saying that we should not be cautious. We can be cautious. But if you live with fear, if somebody got stung by a peculiar mosquito, then all the time, every day, morning, afternoon, evening, night, you're buying Baygon and you're spraying all the time, whole day you're spraying because you're so paranoid about mosquitoes. So what are we talking about? We're talking about fear. Today, the only way to overcome fear is to surrender. We have to surrender with the belief, whatever will be, will be. You can't control what's going to happen. Can you control? A tsunami is going to hit you. Can you control? A tsunami is going to come and hit your country. Can you control it? Suddenly they say in Bombay, Gujarat, Goa, Karnataka, there's going to be a cyclone. Now the cyclone is hitting, but one company who runs a barge, they were having a boat near Bombay or Gujarat. They continued to go out in the cyclone. Some 100, 200 people have died. That is our choice. If there is a cyclone and we decide that we don't want to bother about the cyclone and we still want to go out in the cyclone, no, that is the wrong choice we made. So many people have died. But the point is, can we control the cyclone? Some things in life we must learn to surrender. Unfortunately, we have not learned. And today I'm sharing with you this magical secret of peace and bliss. Stop and ask yourself the question. So many things are happening around you. Is it a magic show? Somebody is dying, somebody is escaping. I've heard a case where 3 people were in a car accident, 2 died. 1 did not die. The car was smashed completely. One person did not die. What do we say? We say it's luck. Is it luck actually? Is it luck? There is no magic in this world. There's a logic. And this is based on karma. Recently, A friend told me that his uncle was arrested and put in jail for 6 months without a crime. I asked him, how can your uncle be arrested and put in jail without a crime for 6 months? He said, because they have taken some wrong evidence of a wrong person, and my uncle is in jail from 6 months. And then the discussion we had, was it bad luck? It was not bad luck. It was bad karma. There's no doubt that this did not happen because of bad luck. This happened only because it was a reaction of a past action. The action is already done. Can you change the action that is done? Suppose you've already planted thorns in your garden. You've already planted the thorns. You've already planted. So can you change that? It's already root. There are already roots. The plant, the root, it already shoots. Now you have to get the thorns. The thorns will come. Because you planted the thorns. The deed is already done. And just like the seed you plant decides the fruit on the tree, the deed you plant decides your destiny. The moment you have an action, you can't stop the reaction. The reaction is going to appear. So what do? The first step to understand in the equation, accept, accept, accept. Because if you don't accept, you're going to have a double misery. First, misery of what is happening, and then the misery of not understanding why it is happening. It is very dangerous to be able to be caught with this double suffering. The first suffering, as I told you, the first suffering is already there's a misery. Already somebody has died. Already somebody has had an accident. Already there's a fire in the go down and now you ask yourself the question. You go to the temple and you light agarbatti and you ask Prabhu, God, what have I done? God, tell me, what wrong have I done? I have been such a good man. I have done such good deeds in my life. What wrong have I done? God, tell me, what wrong have I done? And you expect the statue to speak to you. The statue will not speak to you. But you have to realize the truth. What is the truth that you have to realize? You have to realize the truth that this is just an effect of the cause. This is not, if there's a smoke, there must be fire. You cannot imagine there to be a smoke and you say there is no fire. No. The smoke is the effect. Fire is the cause. We don't realize this law of cause and effect. It's known as the law of the boomerang. What goes around comes around. As you sow, so shall you reap. What you give is what you get. What you do will come back to you. I can tell you the same thing in 10 different ways. So when something is happening, my friends, the first equation before we move to the next, the first part of the equation, accept, accept, accept. Accept it just like, Margaret, when you go to church, what do they give you? They give you some wine or they give you a bread or something like that. Am I right, Margaret? They give you something. In the temple, Margaret, in the temple, they give us prasadam. Do you tell them, when you get prasadam, do you tell them, no, I don't want this? You tell them, I don't want this. I don't want wine. You better give me something else. I don't want bundi prasadam. You please give me Balaji laddu. I like Balaji laddu. No, this is a prasadam. A prasadam is something that you get. And a prasadam, people don't understand the real meaning of prasadam. A prasadam is nothing but the reward of karma. The prasadam is nothing but what you are getting back for your own actions. My dear friends, no point if we look up at the sky, we cry, we ask why. Will it solve the problem? A lot of people think prayer is the solution to the problem. I don't know if I've told this story to you, but I always like this story. Somebody was sitting and he wanted to cross across and walk, but he was in front of a river. So he was sitting in front of the river and he was praying to God, oh God, I want to cross this river. Oh God, I want to cross this river. Oh God, I want to cross this river. Just then a saint passed by. What are you praying for? He said, I want to cross this river. So why are you praying to God? You want to cross this river, you cross the river. But the man said, no, I'm praying to God. God will help me cross the river. So the saint pulled him up and said, come on. He said, if this river is shallow, we will walk across. If the river is not shallow, you know to swim, we will swim. If the river is very deep, we will take a little boat, that small little round boat, and we'll go in a boat. God has given us, you know swimming, I know swimming. God has kept a little boat here. Some farmer has left a boat here. But just by praying, you will not cross the river. You see, we human beings, sometimes we don't understand. What is prayer a scheme to move God? No. We have to understand prayer is connecting with the divine that is within. Communicating, being inspired, becoming conscious of the divine power inside of us. But we don't realize that we have to accept what has happened, not look at the sky and tell God, why did this happen? Remember, delete the word luck from your. Next time when somebody writes the word luck, you take a pen and before the word luck, you put P. Make it pluck. Tell them the spelling of luck is wrong. The spelling of luck is not L-U-C-K. The spelling of luck is P-L-U-C-K. You pluck. There is nothing like luck. Everything is pluck. Everything happens as per the law. When I was a kid, I always used to tell myself, do your best. God will do the rest. Do your best. Then God will do the rest. But first, you must do your best. You don't do your best, but you want God to create miracles for you. How will the miracle happen? Why will the miracle happen? Why should the miracle happen in your life? So you have to understand that we can only expect divine magic provided we do our best. That is the first step. The next thing to understand is, man can control his action, but man cannot control the fruits of his action. You can plant a seed, but you cannot be sure that that fruit will come. You can invest money, but you cannot be sure that it will give you good returns. You can do an examination, but you cannot be sure of the first rank. Man is not only in control of his action, but we human beings, we have not realized there is a factor beyond action of man. It's called the fourth factor. It's called the fourth factor because man is in command of three factors. Man is command of his action. Man is in command of the instrument he uses, and man is command of the way he does the action. So man is in command of his own self. Man is in command of his hands. Man is in command of his instrument, and man is in command of the way he acts. Which means a farmer is in control of his hands. He uses the plow. He uses the plow and the seeds and the fertilizers, and he does the farming. But there's no guarantee he will get the crop. The crop may come or the crop may not come. That depends on the rain. That depends on the drought. That depends on the winds. That depends on the animals that will go across in the farm. So we have to understand that there is a factor beyond man. I met a man who came and told me, my brother bought the best of mask. And he did not wear one mask. He had two masks. Two, not one mask. I don't know if you've seen many people, they put one mask and then they put two masks. My brother always put two masks. My brother always had what is called do gaz ki duri. He always kept social distancing. He took the best vaccine. In India, I believe Covishield. He took 2 doses of Covishield. But he's still serious in the hospital. He got COVID. How did he get? He asked me the question, how did he get? How did he get? I don't know. How did he get? We human beings don't understand that we are not in command of the fruit of our deeds. The fruit is in the hands of a power greater than you and me. That's the power of the divine. And we have to understand this. That is why I'm asking you today, I'm giving you a formula, I'm giving you an equation. The equation is accept whatever is happening and surrender to whatever will happen. So did you get the equation clear? Sudeep, 2 steps, Sudeep. Whatever has already happened, accept. What is going to happen? Surrender. So I tell people, accept. Don't wonder. Don't wonder why it happened. Ashok Richani. Why it happened? Should we wonder, Ashok Richani? Should we wonder why it happened? We should not wonder. What should we do? We should accept. Then we should do our best. And we should surrender the rest. Okay, whatever will be, will be. This is called trust. Many people don't understand the meaning of trust. T-R-U-S-T. It means total reliance, unconditional surrender to the Almighty. Can you trust? Trust means total reliance. Not many people. I asked a person. There was a person who was going to join and come and work for me. So I told the person, no, I want you to take care of my money. I want you to take care of my bank accounts. I want you to sign on my behalf. I want you to be a very important person of my life. So it's a very important position in my life. How much can I trust you? You know what the person gave the answer? So you can trust me 99.9%. I said, when you said I can trust you 99.9% means I cannot trust you. When you said trust is 99.9%, it means there is no trust. Trust has to be 100%, not 99.9%. Because 99.9% means we don't trust fully. When you surrender, my Guruji used to say a very nice line. Dina Bandhu Dina Nath, Meri Dori Tere Haath. Do all of you know this? Have you heard of this? Dina Bandhu Dina Nath, Meri Dori Tere Haath. Dina Bandhu Dina Nath, Meri Dori, oh Lord, which means, oh Lord, my little boat is in the water. But I don't worry because the waves are in your command. The ocean is in your command. The breeze is in your command. If the boat has to cross the shore, you will make it cross the shore. Therefore, it is very important for us to learn whatever happens in this life, whatever happens. I'm not saying that what is happening is fair, it's unfair. No, that is not the point of discussion. What is happening, fair, unfair, leave it. The point is accept. Accept. Kabul, 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 Manzoor, 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 Manzoor. And surrender. So there are 2 aspects. I hope you are getting why I'm trying to emphasize. Ajit, samajh mein aa raha hai? There are 2 things. Ke jo ho gaya, whatever is over, you accept. Don't regret. And whatever is going to happen, you surrender. If you do this, you will have peace. You will have bliss. There will be no stress, no worry, no anxiety. But this is our choice. Some people, they don't accept. They wonder. And some people, they keep on hoping. So I tell people, accept, don't wonder. Replace hope with surrender. Accept, don't wonder. Replace hope with surrender. Most people suffer because they don't know the secret. They don't accept the secret and they're caught in this cosmic illusion called Maya. Many people don't know the meaning of Maya. What is Maya? You know the meaning of Maya. That's why every day at 8 o'clock we have question answer session. And many people, they teach me by asking tough questions and then we get the answers. So today even Mr. Hitkari is going to ask us a question. Every day I'm waiting. You have to ask tough questions from the divine. Right? So the point is that every day we answer questions to understand what is this Maya? What is this Mithya? This world, it looks like it's real, but it's like a dream. It's not real. In the end, see what happens in a dream. In a dream, when you wake up in the morning, the dream is over. But we think life is not like that. When you wake up in the morning, you have to face life. But what happens when you finish your life? When you see somebody has finished their life and they're carrying his body, his life was like a dream. The dream is over. His life is over. But we don't realize the meaning of this cosmic illusion. We don't understand that this is a Leela. A lot of people, these are two important words. I don't know if you've heard me say this before. This is a song. Ye Leela hai Maya, kuch bhi sach to na. नाटक ये प्रभु का है एक ख्वाब जैसा, जहां में होता जो वो माया है, प्रभु को पाना यही मकसद है, सवाल हमें कोई ना करना है, मंजूर करना जो भी होता है, निर्देशक वो उनकी लीला, हम तो कलाकार है, कर्तव्य है करना, ये लीला है माया, कुछ भी सच तो ना. So for people like Bridget who are watching, who know French, Bridget, you know the song, what it means? It means that this world is a drama, is a theater. It's just a show. It's like a Broadway. It's like a Broadway show. We are actors. We are actors. We come and we go. And everything that's happening in this show is just like a puppet show. And we're all puppets, and we are doing our act. And ultimately, a time will come, and this show is going to be finished. But there is somebody who has produced this show. There is somebody who has produced this drama. There is somebody who has given us the role of this actor. What we don't understand is that there's a law of karma. We blame God. No, there's no point blaming God. Because today, your birth, you are born male, female, Indian, French, whatever, Christian, Hindu, depends on your own karma. And we all have to die. Everybody has to die. Then why fear death? You may die today. You may die after 10 years. You may die after 20 years. Well, how does it matter? Everybody has to go. It's just a show. But we are paranoid because of our ignorance. We are not able to surrender because of our ignorance. We are not able to accept. That's why we lose our bliss and peace. Every human being in this world is looking for just two things: peace and happiness. Even if you're looking to buy a new car, you want to be happy. Even if you're looking for a relationship, you want bliss. If you want money, success, it's because you want happiness. Finally, in the end, everything ends with happiness. But we don't realize that there's a storyboard. You see, actors in this world cannot go. Can somebody go on the stage and do whatever they like? No, they can't do whatever they like. They have been given a script. They say, this is your part. You have to do this. So they go on the stage and they follow the guidelines given to them because that's the storyboard. And if they follow the storyboard, they do well, they get a good salary, right? They get paid. If they don't follow the storyboard, the director will not pay them. But who is the director? Who is in charge of this show? So today we've got a few songs. Today is a song Zoom. So in this, one of the next, my favorite songs I tell people is, नाटक uska hai ye, संगीत भी उसकी है, हम तो बस कलाकार हैं, हम आते हैं जाते हैं, मर्जी जो है उसकी वो मंजूर करना है, ये जीवन उनकी कृपा है, हमको अर्पण करना है, जो भी होता वो उसकी मर्जी है, नाटक भी उसकी माया है, लीला ये उसकी, हम तो बस कलाकार हैं, उसकी जो मर्जी होती है. What you want doesn't happen. Whatever happens, happens as per the producer, director of the show. Of course, you are an actor. You're allowed to act. You can act. You can do the acting the way you can. Somebody was, which was a movie recently where Amitabh Bachchan, when he was in a car, he was handicapped. What was a movie about a bomb blast, and then he kills himself in the movie with a bomb. You all must have seen. I don't see movies, but by chance I saw that movie. But Amitabh Bachchan was in a wheelchair. It was about a movie on terrorism. And a friend who was watching the movie with me, he said, Wazir, was it? So he said, why did the director make Amitabh Bachchan die? No, Amitabh Bachchan should not have died. No, he should not have. That is his movie, man. That is his movie. If he wanted to make Amitabh Bachchan die, that is his storyboard. You and me have no business to make a comment whether he should have died or he should not have died. We have to learn to enjoy the show. We have to learn to understand that this is just a drama. And we should not get caught as actors in this drama. We should enjoy the show. A lot of girls, especially, they go for a movie, and then when they are watching the movie, immediately from my pocket, I give them tissue. I say, take. No, they are crying. They're watching the movie. Then when one is wet, I give them one more tissue. It's just a movie. Huh? It's just a movie. But tissue after tissue, they're crying. We become so attached. We think this movie is real. We feel so sad. Oh, we all have it. I'm sure you all have cried in some movie or the other. Surely. And because we don't realize we are actors. We come, we go. Nothing belongs to us. You know, we make relationships, and then we cry when the relationship breaks. Oh, every relationship in this world is going to break. Every relationship in this world is not permanent. It is temporary. But we get attached. And we get attached. And then we cry. This is our ignorance. Because I told you, because of Maya, because of Leela, because of this illusion, we are living with fear. We cry, we worry. So if you want to live a life of happiness, if you want peace, if you want bliss, remember a new equation today. The equation, accept whatever happens and surrender to whatever will happen. We are sometimes so scared. We are so scared. What happened? I asked my friend, what happened? No, my daughter has not come from school. So what happened? No, I'm very waiting. What happened? You know, last week, my neighbor's daughter, when she was coming, the car hit her. And she nearly died. So now that is playing on the mind. That is constantly playing on the mind. Unfortunately, we have to realize we can take precaution. We can take all the precaution, but we have to learn to accept. On one hand, why God has given us two hands? One hand to accept and other hand to surrender. Remember, when you look at two hands now, one hand you say, I accept, and the other hand you say, I surrender. Keep this equation, because only when we realize the truth by opening our real eyes, then we will be enlightened that there's a power who's in charge of everything that's happening. And therefore, we have no choice. We don't have a choice. Suppose Ashok Maheshwari tells me, no, I will not accept. So Ashok Maheshwari, if you don't accept, then okay, don't accept, then you'll be frustrated. No, why you did like that? No, I told to do like this. I told like, why you did not do? Why you did not? Okay, you lose your peace of mind. You want to lose your peace of mind? Fine. Accept. Learn to laugh. Learn to smile. Because when you accept, you retain your peace and your bliss. And don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about tomorrow. Because tomorrow will come the way it has to come. You don't have to worry about tomorrow. Accept and surrender. You know something? A lot of us, we get caught by our ego. I told you dare. I told you, you dare, you, how dare you? How dare you did not listen to me? You know who I am? Huh? You don't know who I am? How dare you? We think we are big shots. We don't realize that we are nothing. We are zero. Zero, zero, zero. I always tell people, remind yourself, you are not alone. The divine is. We are nothing. He is everything. When you realize we are nothing, He is everything, this helps you to surrender. This helps you to accept the divine will. But first realize this. What will you realize? I am nothing. You are everything. So today, the next song I want to share with you is this. मैं क्या हूं कुछ भी नहीं, सब कुछ तुम ही हो प्रभु, तुम बिन मैं क्या कुछ भी ना. You understand Hindi, I hope. जो भी मैं दिखता प्रभु, कण कण में तू है समा, तुझ बिन प्रभु मैं कुछ भी ना. लहर एक हूं मैं प्रभु, आता मैं जाता प्रभु, तू है समुंदर सारा, तुझ में समाता प्रभु, तुझी से आता मैं कुछ भी ना. It means I am nothing. Oh Lord, I am nothing. I come from you and I go back to you. I am like a wave in the ocean. Why don't I realize this? Oh Lord, give me the realization that I am nothing. You know why we suffer? You know why we suffer? There are people. I went to a bookshop once and I was buying some books. That man was asking the bookshop, I want a book. Yes, sir. What is the name of the book? The name of the book is How to Make the Impossible Possible. He was looking for a book. How to Make the Impossible Possible. So I tapped him and I told him, read another book. He said, which is that? I said, that book says, without enlightenment, even the possible becomes impossible. There's no book like that. I just told him. Without enlightenment, even the possible becomes impossible. We don't realize. We think we can make the impossible possible, but we don't realize that we are mere puppets. Is there any guarantee I can finish this Zoom call today? All it needs is one fuse to blow. Think, one fuse if it blows means you all will get up from your chair and kya hua? He has lost consciousness. Kya hua? In a matter of 1 second, only 1 second, the power in our 30 trillion cells. Rajendra Makhwana, how many cells you have got in your body? 30 trillion cells. The power leaves the 30 trillion cells in 1 second. In 1 second, it just goes. But we don't realize. We don't realize that there is a divine power. Sanjay Das, one story for you today, new story. Okay, ready? There was a pregnant deer. Have I told you all the story? Itkari ji bola, pregnant deer ka story bola hai? Nahi bola hai. Itkari has come for last, along with Sanjay Das, I think last 1 year you have not missed a single session. So, there was a pregnant deer that was caught in a storm. The pregnant deer was caught in a storm, and one side there was a river. And on the other side, the lightning had caught the trees, and the forest was full of fire. So there was a forest fire, there was a river, there was a hunter there who was trying to kill a deer for he had food to eat. And on the other side, there was a ferocious lion. The pregnant deer was caught in between a fire. Sudeep, you heard this before? No. There was a fire on one side of the forest, a river on the other side, a hunter on one side, and a ferocious lion. And this pregnant deer was helpless. So the pregnant deer probably had learned the art of acceptance and surrender. God knows who taught the deer. So the deer decided to just lie down and give birth to the fawn, the baby fawn, the baby deer. Just as she tried to lie down, it was standing. Ashok Maheshwari, you're paying attention? The deer was standing, and the hunter was aiming the deer, and as he left the arrow, the deer sat down to give birth to the baby. The arrow passed the deer and killed the lion. As it killed the lion, the thunder poured so much rain that the forest fire was gone. And the deer gave birth to the baby deer. Look at what happened when the deer, what it did, it accepted the scenario and it just surrendered. There was lightning. Probably that lightning, that hunter also got affected by the lightning, and the arrow missed the deer, killed the lion. The rain came, the fire was gone, and the deer was able to just walk out. My friends, these are stories. These are stories that makes us realize that we must learn the art of acceptance and the art of surrender. There may be tough times, but in the toughest of times, we must learn to surrender. You know what we think? In tough times, how can you surrender? How can you? How can I accept? What are you talking? Be realistic. Don't be foolish. Don't be idiotic. This is not the way. We say it or we don't say it. Come on, yeah. Be practical, yeah. How will we do it like this, yeah? This is what we people say. Because we don't know the art of acceptance. We have not been taught what we have been taught. Ajitek, what have we been taught? That if a black cat passes, don't cross. Bura lagta. Have you been taught? Kali billi pass kiya to bad luck hai, bad omen. Don't go. Kuch ho jayega. We have been taught all the nonsense. We have not learned the art of acceptance. We have not learned the art of surrender. And because we have not learned the art of acceptance and surrender, like this baby, this deer, It just surrendered. It's a story. But things will happen if we trust, if we keep our trust, if we keep our faith alive, magic will happen. We must learn to let go, because only when we learn to let go will God take charge. The creator. I don't like to use the word God because people think God, immediately people start thinking Shiva, Krishna, Rama, Jesus. No. That's why I use the word creator or divine. We have to learn to trust the divine because that is the only way. So today I taught you accept, accept and surrender. So before we start the question answer session, let me give you two or three more poetries. So one of my favorite poems I wrote is this. It says, अर्पण जीवन करना है जिसने जीवन दिया सब कुछ उसी के हाथों में है होगा जो वो चाहता. Understood? It says अर्पण जीवन करना है जिसने जीवन दिया सब कुछ उसी के हाथों में है होता जो वो चाहता. You have to learn to understand that whatever is the will divine, that will unfold. We are powerless. We are not capable of doing anything. We are only capable to accept. Either you accept or you reject. If you accept, you can be happy. Sangam Gupta, if you accept, you can be peaceful. If you don't accept, you will be stressed. You will be upset. You will be so miserable. Therefore, learn. I'm sure you heard that song in English that says, Ke sara sara, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Ke sara sara. Bridget, you know the song? You know the song or no? Bridget? Yeah? When I was just a little boy, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be handsome? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me. Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera, what will be, will be. We don't learn to surrender. Our challenge is to surrender. And I wish, my dear friends, that we learn. Because if we don't learn to surrender, then we will live with fear. So there are only two options. The option to surrender or to fear. Have you ever seen a bird in the sky? A bird flies. It opens its wings. Imagine the bird was scared. What if the wings don't work? Or what if the air disappears, the breeze disappears, the bird will fall? Is the bird scared of flying? The bird is not scared of flying. The bird opens its wings and flies. We human beings also have wings, but we have not learned to open our wings. We have not learned to fly because we live with fear. Therefore, we are constantly living with the fear. And that fear stops us to open our wings. When will we learn to trust in the divine? When will we learn? Because only when we learn to trust in the divine, then only we will be able to fly. On the bird, I wrote a few words. It says, पंछी हवाओं में उड़ते, अर्पण जीवन वो करते, हवा पे भरोसा वो करते, प्रभु पे यकीन वो करते, डर के नहीं वो उड़ते, विश्वास के साथ पंख फैलाते, ऊंचे आसमां में वो उड़ते, चिंता कोई भी ना वो करते, पंछी से हमें है सीखना, जीवन अर्पण है करना, जो भी होता खुशी खुशी मंजूर करना, जो भी होता उनकी इच्छा से होता, स्वीकार करना, मंजूर करना, अर्पण जीवन हमें करना. It looks like today is the singing Zoom. So much singing, so we should stop singing. But today's topic of surrender and acceptance actually comes from my bhajans. That's why there are so many songs. We should be inspired by a bird. We should be inspired by a bird. Somebody asked me a question. What is the proof that does a power exist? Can you prove to me? Short term, yes. I can't prove to you, but I can give you one small example to prove. He said, come on, give me an example. What is the example? So I gave him an apple. I don't cut the apple. He said, what has the apple got to do with this believing in God? I don't cut the apple. So he cut the apple. I told him, count how many seeds in the apple. So he carefully cut the apple and he counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He kept counting and he told me how many seeds in the apple. He said, no, I counted. I told you. So what's the big deal? I told him, anybody can count the seeds in an apple. Now tell me how many apples are going to be in the seed. Now take a seed and tell me, take one seed and tell me how many apples are in that seed. Can you tell me? Ashok Chotwani, can you tell how many apples are in the seed? Can you tell? Only he can tell. Some people, they get 1 daughter, 2 daughters, 3 daughters. They try for the 4th. They are not able to control it, right? With how much ever scientific, medical progress. Because some things are in the hands of the divine. Maybe science will progress. Maybe we will be able to prove progress in many more ways. But remember, my dear friends, there is a power. And when we say accept and surrender, it is to that power. This power is the power of the divine. There is a divine power. And unless we, human beings, we accept this divine power, we will never be able to live a life of peace, of joy, and of bliss. So to close today's discussions and start the question answers, let's summarize it. The world may be in chaos, but you don't have to lose your peace and your bliss. If you learn to joyously accept, don't just accept, joyously accept, happily accept, laughingly, happily accept. So somebody asked the question to me, you know, my finger got cut. My finger got cut. And you're telling me, happily accept. You're mad, crazy man, crazy man. My finger got cut. Crazy man, how can I happily accept? So I told him there are 2 things I want to tell you. First of all, count your blessings that only your finger got cut. Your hand didn't get cut. First point. Count your blessings, Krishna Sharma. Krishna Sharma. Count your blessings, only finger got cut. Hand did not get cut. First point. And second point, understand that your karma needed you to redeem You had some negative karma, and that negative karma had to be settled. So accept it. Accept joyously, happily, and surrender. Because when you surrender, you're creating huge amount of positive karma. When you surrender, you're moving towards that step of enlightenment. When you surrender, you're moving towards that state of realization of the truth. So today we will start question answers in 1 minute from now or 2 minutes from now. But before we start the question answers, I'll give you next week's topic. Next week's topic is, you were not born on your birthday. Huh? Your birthday in your passport is a lie. You were not born on your birthday. So that is the topic for next week. And that will help those who want enlightenment, because it will open your real eyes. You will realize your birthday is not your birthday. Just like you will realize that you are not the one you thought you were all these years. So this is next week's Zoom topic. Friday, 28th May, we will start at 7, and the talk is from 7 to 8. But now every day we start with what is known as Ask Air. So all of you will be muted now. And whoever wants to speak, the administrator will select. I think many of you know how to, you've been an amazing group in the question answer session. There's been no problem. We had a very good discipline. So as the administrator selects you, we have 30 minutes of questions. So are there any questions that are already typed? Yeah, Bridget has a question, and I'm starting with Bridget's question. Bridget's question, if I understand right, we have to forget what we don't want to focus on what we want, and forget what give us bad vibes, and enjoy despite everything. Absolutely. Bridget, absolutely. So what you're saying, I'm just repeating what you're saying, Bridget. We have to forget what we don't want, because if you keep your mind on what you don't want, those feelings will become actions and habits, and you will start, even though you don't want it, if your attention is on that, that will happen. That is what is called the law of attraction in many a way. So this is a good part of that law of attraction, because I don't believe in the law of attraction. I think we spoke about it. Law of attraction works only with action. But you must forget what you don't want, and you must focus on what you want. Because if you focus on what gives you bad vibes, if you focus on that, those bad vibes will multiply. Whatever you pay attention to, that grows. So don't pay attention to what you don't want. Right, Bridget? And your last point, Bridget, enjoy despite everything. That is exactly what we spoke today. The art of acceptance. Learn to accept and learn to count your blessings. Always be grateful, because that's the way to happiness. If you are not grateful, then you will be grumpy. Look at him, he got better, he got better. So we should not do that. Okay?
Okay.
So is there any other question?
Facebook, Ermohit.
Ermohit Kataria on Facebook. How to accept? Like this. By putting your hands forward, and whatever comes into your hands, say, Kabul, accept it. I accept. I accept. Whatever happens in your life, be happy. That's the way to accept it. Don't refuse. Don't reject. Don't be upset. That is the way to accept. Komal, why do we judge people? Why can't we accept as they are? Ask yourself, Komal. We don't accept people as they are, Komal. You know the answer, right? You don't accept people as they are because of the ego. The ego doesn't want to accept. because you want to say, I don't accept what you say. If the ego disappears, then there's nothing left, there's acceptance. The right hand and the left hand, they both accept what you're doing. I see one more question coming from Mr. Budrani.
Kindly explain how to lose in Brahman.
How to?
Lose in Brahman.
Mr. Budrani's question before we go on to the Ask Air session, where you can come online and ask your questions directly. Kindly explain how to lose in Brahman? Dasi, I think what you're trying to ask is how to be lost in Brahman. So the only way to be lost in Brahman is to give up your ego and to realize you are nothing. When you realize I am nothing, I am not, alone thou art. When you realize that we are just divine energy, not what we appear to be, then we get lost in Brahman. But when we get lost in Brahman, which means when we become one with Aham Brahmasmi, which means okay, to explain this in the best way, Dasi, is this way. How can the wave lose itself? The wave can lose itself only when it becomes one with the ocean. I hope you get the point, Dasi. So as long as you want to remain as Mr. Budrani, you can never become the divine, because you're separating yourself from the divine. As long as the wave says, I am a wave, I am a wave, I am a wave, it will never become the ocean. So it has to become the ocean. Can we start asking? Surinder Goyal, please ask your first question. So those of you who are new to this concept, people will be asking me questions live in Ask Air every day from 8 to 8:30. This is not on Fridays. Margaret and others note, Kuldeep Singh, others note this every day. So please start, Surinder Goyal.
Good evening, sir. Sir, when something bad happens to us, our first response is denial. Then we question. Then we blame. Somebody did this or the God did with us. Then comes the forgiveness. When we forgive, then acceptance comes. And after the acceptance, when we accept it as the will of the God, then we surrender.
But do you think the first three steps are needed? Do you think we should deny? Should we question? Should all that happen?
So as a normal human being, these steps are there. But once we are spiritually evolved, then we can accept directly.
So Surinder, this is the point. When we start getting caught being a human being, then many chances are we don't accept and we don't forgive.
Yes, sir.
My uncle, I don't know whether I told you the story. My uncle was living in a house on the first floor and his sister was living in the ground floor. His sister's son got engaged and they were going to get married. My uncle was traveling, going, coming. One day when my uncle met me and I showed him the wedding card of his sister's son, he was so upset. He said, how can my sister give you the wedding card before giving elder brother the wedding card? He was so upset. So when he went upstairs and when she saw he has come upstairs after 2 days, she went up to give the wedding card. What did he do? He banged the door on her face. He said, get out. I don't want to come for your wedding. You go to hell. 20 years have passed. He is not talking to his sister.
So that is denial. The acceptance has not come.
So what I'm telling you, we have to cut out this human behavior. Because when we don't cut out this human behavior, maybe you will accept and forgive. But human beings are not able to because of the ignorance.
So my question is suffering is for our spiritual evolution of bringing us close to God, or it is due to law of karma, our bad deeds in the past?
Suffering is due to law of karma. This is wrong to believe that suffering is to make us evolve and become closer to God. I do agree that some suffering may inspire us to seek God. I agree. But God doesn't use suffering to make us suffer so we are forced to go to Him. That is wrong. I hope you get my point. The point is, Surinder, that suffering is due to karma. जो अच्छा करेंगे अच्छा आएगा, बुरा करेंगे बुरा आएगा. Good will get good. So suppose a man is that good karma, why should he suffer? He can still realize God. He doesn't have to suffer. So we should not. Many people, I know many speakers who say suffering is meant to evolve on the spiritual journey. No, I don't think. I mean, it can come. Suffering can come and go, but it's not meant to force us to be. It is not a tool God uses. Thank you, Surinder. Thank you. Gautam, your question, please.
Shivomer.
Shivoham.
Actually, my question is that if somebody dies in our relation or in our family members, so if I don't like to attend their funeral, so is this necessary to go, or else some people will think that he didn't came, he will spoil his name.
See, it is not necessary to go, but because you are in a society and they expect you to come. Suppose Gautam, you are a person, suppose take my case. I don't go for anybody's birthday, I don't go for anybody's wedding, I don't go for anybody's party, I don't go anywhere for any function.
Even
So
I want to be like this.
Okay. But right now, suppose a man calls you for birthday party, you are going. But tomorrow funeral, you are not going. Then is it good? You tell me, is it good? That's not good.
No.
So that's the answer. So it all depends upon what is your kind of your philosophy, your ethics. You have to follow that.
But people cry. The people cry there, then we'll feel something bad.
No. So when you go for birthday party, you also have to go for funeral. Okay.
Okay.
Otherwise, they will feel very bad. They will think that you are only willing to share the good time, but you are not willing to share the bad time. That's not fair. Okay. Next question. Sudeep Bhargava.
Yeah, Shivam sir.
Shivam, Sudeep.
So there were a couple of words. I mean, I just wanted to understand that where is a thin line where we cross and go to the other side, which could be the wrong side. So the words that I'm sharing with you, what could be the thin line between surrendering and inaction? I'll take an example for this one, just a historical example. Mahmud Ghaznavi had attacked the Somnath temple somewhere in 1000 AD or something. That's around 1000 years back. So the priests were told that you consult the king, he'll send you the army and that army will save the temple. He said, no, it's the God's temple, God will take care of himself. And that temple was plundered very badly.
Okay, so
that is the first pair. Yes, sir?
No, you continue. You said something, I missed the last part.
Okay, yeah, so that's the first pair of words where I want to understand the thin line between surrendering and not taking an action.
So let me answer this. Let me answer this, then you come to the second one.
Sure.
So Sudeep, it's like this. I think that surrender is faith. Surrender is trust. Inaction is what they call in spirituality tamasik. It is laziness. There's a lot of difference between being lazy and surrendering. Surrendering is not being lazy. Surrendering is surrendering with your intelligence. But being lazy is out of ignorance. There is not a thin line, there's a thick line. So don't think there's a thin line. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm sure you will get what I'm trying to say once I finish. So when we surrender, we don't tell God, oh, you do what you want, God. I don't worry, I have given everything to you, and now no. You do your best. Remember the story? I always tell that story. No, one man told God, whatever money I have, I'm throwing. Whatever falls this side of the line, you take. This side, I take. Another man said, I'm throwing money. Whatever falls inside the circle, you take. The balance, I'll take. Another man said. Third man said, I'm throwing all my money up. Oh God, all my money I'm throwing to you. You keep whatever you want. Whatever you don't want, you send it back. No, is that is cheating? No, you're getting my point. So surrender is not cheating God. Surrender is not abdicating. When you abdicate the responsibility, that is being lazy. That is being indifferent. What you said, no, surrendering is not being indifferent. Surrendering is telling God, oh Lord, I am incapable of dealing with this situation. I will do my best, but you take care of the rest. Surrender happens not before trying your best. Another thing, another clear principle I'm giving you. When you don't try and you surrender, is that surrender? Without trying, if you surrender, is it called surrender? That's
No,
called.
that is wrong.
Now clear? Now you're getting the point? Surrender comes, Sudeep, when you do your best and then you hand over the rest to the divine. That is surrender. Your second point, you want to ask the second? This has
Yeah, just
another part.
on a very similar lines, I think the answer could be the same that you have already told, but I'll share the words maybe for the benefit of the others.
Yeah.
Those two words are, one is accepting the destiny, that okay, like you also have a bhajan, Hota Jo Bhi Hota is one of the latest bhajans that you have released.
Yeah.
So one is destiny, accepting the destiny, and on the other side of the line would be the law of karma. So if it is already destined that this is going to happen, then why should I work? It's almost the same thing like surrender and inaction.
No. It's a very good question. That is a big difference in this. So accepting is accepting your past action, which is unfolding as karma, as a reaction. So you don't refuse that whatever is happening is your own action that is coming back. So you have to accept it. But that does not stop you from proper action, which you do today, because that will be the reaction for tomorrow. So you have got, again, there's no thin line, there's a thick line. So Sudeep, thick line. So you have to accept your past action, because you can't change your past action, but you do your best in your present action, because that is in your hands. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Sudeep. Good questions. I like tough. We must come with new questions. So from tomorrow, tomorrow at 8 o'clock, I will ask you all questions. I will ask you a question on death. I will ask you a question on reincarnation. From tomorrow, I'm going to ask you a question. So we'll make it more interesting. Harsha? Question from Harsh. Harsha.
Next, Madhu Gupta.
Madhu Gupta. Question from Madhu Gupta. Please speak. Madhu Gupta. Question is pasted. Meena Gupta. Should I answer? There's a question on Facebook. Meena Gupta says, my mother died. I am heartbroken. Dear Meena Gupta, I feel sorry for your mother passing away. Please accept our condolences and may the Lord give you the strength to bear the loss. Let us realize, dear Meena Gupta, everybody has to die. Your mother has to die. Each of our mother, father have to die. You have to die. I have to die. We all have to die. Everybody has to die. Don't be heartbroken, because being heartbroken means not accepting the divine will. Death is in the hands of the divine. Learn to accept it. If you don't accept it, you are fighting the divine will. And this is not good, because when you fight the divine will, you're going against the creator, the divine. And this is not good for us. This is a bad karma, a bad action. So my humble request to you, dear Meena Gupta, accept death as a reality of life and submit to it. You can't change it. It's over. You can't reverse it. By being heartbroken is not going to change anything. You're only reducing your faith in God. You're reducing your trust in the divine. You're spoiling a possible union. So change, accept, trust, surrender. Today's topic is accept and surrender. Madhu Gupta, how to surrender, how to focus in one thing. To focus on one thing is a different question. Surrender is not to worry. Surrender is not to fear. Surrender is to say, whatever is going to be, I accept. Surrender is not telling God, God, I want this, God, I want this, God, I want this, God, I want this. God, tomorrow I don't want gobi paratha, I want paneer paratha tomorrow. This is also people pray to God. Now people pray to God, Prabhu, tomorrow for breakfast, ask them not to give idli, Prabhu, I want dosa, I want dosa. This also people pray to God. I know many people who pray. So we should learn to let go of small things. And how to focus? You can learn to focus when you let the mind become calm. We come back to Ask Care. Live questions, please.
Ravindran.
Ravindran, your time. Ravindran, please unmute yourself. Give priority only for live questions. Yes, please. Ravindran.
Sir, Shivam, Ravindran here.
Sure.
I have one question. That is, people who do mistakes and they do sometimes with ignorance or something, but some people do it and they don't accept it because of their ego. And how do you treat, because they also have, due to some karma, they should be also having some day to get corrected. So is it they will continue to do that, or it will be like we cannot correct them?
Ravindran, our job is not to correct others. Let others do what they want to do. It is their deed. They will get, their action will create their reaction. Sometimes you think you have to correct, you have to give the result for their action. No, we don't have to worry about their action. Their karma, the law of karma will give them the answer. What we must do, Ravindran, we must be inspired by their wrong behavior. And we should not behave like this. When you see other people behaving like this, Ravindran, it's a God's way of teaching us a lesson. God is coming like this person and teaching you and me a lesson. So we should not be like that. That is my learning in the case. And let go. Let those people do what they want to do. You carry on. Let him worry his life and his problem. We are not here to worry about that. If they ask for help, we can help them. But we don't have to worry about it. Thank you. Next question. Shankar Salvaraj, your question, please. Shankar Salvaraj. Is he there? Otherwise, next person.
Harsh Agarwal.
Harsh Agarwal. Harsh Agarwal. Please ask your question, Harsh Agarwal. Yes. Harsh Agarwal. We cannot hear you.
Avinash.
Harsh, we cannot hear you. Just check your mic, so we cannot hear you.
Avinash.
Avinash Sawant.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Is this
Yeah,
Harsh?
thank you.
No.
No, Avinash. Okay,
Avinash,
yes.
bolo, Avinash.
Yeah, yes. The question is that surrendering to the future. So क्या होता है, like we have so many opportunities popping up, and to choose one, it's very hard. So sometimes people or friends says that I take some guidance from this guru, that guru, he said, and I followed that point and I become successful. So like how to choose a correct opportunity, those many things are like appearing to be lucrative, right? And sometimes I feel that I have followed this path but still struggle going on. Kind of. So to decision making, like so many things are popping up, I have to choose one and have to be confident that this is what I am. Kind of like I am on the right path.
If I give you 1 lakh, if I keep 1 lakh in one hand and 2 lakhs in one hand, what will you take?
2 lakhs.
If I keep 2 lakhs in one hand and 20 lakhs in one hand, what will you take?
20 lakhs.
If I keep 20 lakhs in one hand and 2 crores in one hand, what will you take?
So for me, 20 lakhs is okay now. I don't want to like run behind 2 crore. Yeah.
Okay. Good question. Good answer. Now let me explain to you. You used your intellect. First, you used your intellect. 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, you said 2 lakhs. 2 lakhs, 20 lakhs, you said 20 lakhs. 20 lakhs, 2 crores, you said, no, enough. I don't want 2 crores. I'm content. Same way, you have to use your intellect to discriminate. So when you're discriminating, Avinash, you must shut off the mind. When you were answering my question, your complete consciousness was here. There was no distraction. That's why you made this choice. If your consciousness was not there today, you would have told 2 crores. You said enough because your consciousness chose that.
Right,
The
right.
consciousness is higher than the intellect. So I have not told other people this is a new thing that's coming from the sky to me today, which I'm sharing with you. It is not only using our intellect, but even Lord Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita that our intellect must be commanded by the consciousness or the power of the divine within us. You have got divine power inside that makes your heart beat. Remember that. Realize that. And when you're making a decision, Avinash, tell that power inside.
Yes.
Oh, divine power, you please control my intellect to make the right choice. And when the choice is made, Avinash, then you surrender to it.
Okay. Thank you. I got
Right.
it. Yeah.
Thank you. Next
Thank you.
question.
Awesome. Yeah.
Harsh Agarwal, are you ready? Harsh Agarwal. Harsh Agarwal.
Sir, am I audible now?
Yeah, now you're audible. Please speak.
Shivam, sir.
Shivoham.
My question is, there's a very famous proverb that Parabdeshu Kushal Bahut Hai. Fine.
What is your question?
Sir, did you get my question? Or shall I repeat?
Please repeat.
Okay, sir, I'm repeating my question. Sir, there's a very famous proverb, Parabdeshu Kushal Bahut Hai. Right, sir? So I'm very good in giving advice to others people. But many times I have myself failed to follow it. And also my next question is that I want to know the secret of getting sound sleep. Last night I hardly slept for 1 hour around something. So can you please answer it quickly, one by one?
The secret of getting sound sleep is not to let the mind be agitated when you are awake. When the mind is agitated when we are awake, the same mind cannot sleep when the body is trying to sleep because the mind is agitated. Therefore, it is very important to make the mind peaceful. It is very important to realize that the mind has to be calm. And suppose the whole day you're agitated, you just cannot sleep. It's impossible to sleep because the mind is violent. The mind is so upset. Therefore, learn to make the day peaceful if you want your night to be peaceful. People who are having very stressed out business lives, people who are having a lot of worry and fear in their life, you see, they don't sleep even 1 hour because they are so stressed out. Next
yes, sir,
question.
before overthinking.
Okay, thank you, Harsh. Kaumudi, please. Kaumudi.
Sorry, sir.
Yes.
Please.
So I want you to, I think he wants to ask something.
No, it's one question, Kaumudi. You ask the question.
Are you asking something, Harsh? Okay. Okay. So I want you to ask me what you ask if I put
Yes,
1 lakh rupees and ask me that.
Sir, as I said that
Please
there's a
ask
proverb
me that question which you asked.
Okay. What is the proverb, Harsh? What is the proverb you're talking about? Dipal is not.
Sorry.
You asking some proverb? We can't hear you. You have to be loud and clear. What is the proverb you're asking?
The proverb is that Parabdeshu Kushal Bahut Hai. Like it says that for others it is very easy to give advice to others, but very difficult to follow ourselves.
Yes, it's very true.
Like we say to others.
It's very true. That is very easy to give advice to others, but it's very difficult to follow. But so therefore, we should not give advice until we ourselves follow. So if we don't, we should not. It's very what I have been taught. Practice what you preach. If you don't practice, then you don't preach it. Yes, so Komuda, you coming to Komuda, you're saying, so here that you want, I'm getting to the last point, so you want 20 lakhs or 2 crores? Answer?
To him, when you asked him, there is in one hand there is 10 lakhs and in one there is 1 lakh. Which will you take? So I will take 11. I will take the 10 and that 1.
Yeah, so this is called, so what is your
Because
question?
you didn't say.
So what is your question? What is your question?
No.
You're only answering that you're telling me, right?
So when saying you take 10 and 1, hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I will take both, I'm saying.
No, that means you did not hear the question properly. I asked the
If you
question.
ask me the question which
the question was, would you take this
you
or
asked
this?
Avinash.
The question was, would you take this or this? So therefore, I think you did not hear the question. And your internet connection is not correct. So the next person, anybody else? Ajitek Dada, please.
शिवम सर.
Shivam Ajitek.
हाँ जी. सर मैंने ये पूछना है कि अब हमें ये थोड़ा बहुत जैसे ज्ञान होने लग पड़ा है कि हाँ कि हमें गोलोक जाना है, परमात्मा के पास जाना है, तो परमात्मा के पास इतनी शक्ति है कि वो तुरंत ग्रेस कर सकता है, कृपा कर सकता है, तो वो कृपा क्यों नहीं करते हैं कि हम इस दुखाले से निकल सकें बाहर?
Ajitek, this is our misunderstanding कि प्रभु परमात्मा हम पे कृपा नहीं करते हैं. This is a wrong interpretation. What we think that the grace of God is not upon us. When I asked my guru, why is it that the grace of God is not upon us? You know what my guru told me? The sun shines on everybody. The sun shines on everybody. But if you are hiding inside your house and you're blaming the sun, it's not the fault of the sun. The fault is yours. You are not coming out and getting the sunshine. Ajitek, मुझे समझ में आया आपको आंसर क्या है? तो Ajitek, the point is कृपा सब पे है. कृपा हर एक पे है. The opportunity is there for everybody. But if you don't grab the opportunity, if you don't use the opportunity, then you lose it. So is your question over or is it still continuing?
Yes, yes. I'll ask you some another day or
आज का हो गया?
आज का हो गया.
Last question. Is anybody asking for a question? Okay. So I was telling Hitkari ji, I'm going to ask, Hitkari is going to ask me a question. So Hitkari ji, are you going to ask me a question today? Are you ready to ask me? Please unmute and ask me a question. Can you unmute? Because you are
other day. I will ask some other day.
Okay, because you're privileged, you come sometimes first on the call. So I wanted to appreciate you're so prompt, and I bow down to you for your devotion to the subject of spirituality. My dear friends, yeah, boliye.
Hey, Gautam here. I want to ask a small question.
Yeah.
Actually, 2 days back, what happened? I was seeing the clouds and I was seeing the birds. So birds are flying very high in the sky. आप सुन रहे हैं ना?
हाँ, I'm waiting for you.
Yeah. So I was thinking that birds fly in the high, बहुत ऊपर उड़ते हैं तो वो वापस where they stay, they come back or they go other places. How they know this is my place?
This is called that you are captured by your monkey mind. Your mind is not to worry about where the birds are flying and how they are going and where their houses. Because if God wanted you to find out where the birds are flying and where the houses, God would make you fly with the birds. God wants you to find out, Gautam, who are you? You are not Gautam. Stop telling everybody I am Gautam. You are the divine soul. So we have got to ask the relevant question, Gautam, and everybody on the call. Every day when you are coming on the Ask Air time from 8 to 8:30, which is a daily commitment from my side and your side, and everybody is spending time listening to the questions, please come with tough questions. Come with questions on life and death. Come with questions on happiness and unhappiness. Come with questions on heaven and hell. Ask question on who is God, where is God, what is God. Ask question on the soul, on religion, on spirituality. Ask question on the purpose of life. Ask question on how can we be happy. Ask question on the mind, on the ego, on the body. Ask questions that are tough. Ask questions on enlightenment, on liberation, on mukti, moksha, nirvana. Ask questions of Buddha, Kabir, Krishna, Jesus. Ask questions from the Bhagavad Gita, from the Upanishads, from the Vedas. Ask questions which are challenging so that together you and me can walk on this path that takes us to the divine. I thank you all for being on this call today. It's a Friday, so I will go through. Shiva, thank you, Shiva, for coming on the call with your devotion. Thank you, Shiva. Thank you, Sudeep Bhargava. Thank you, Prabhakar. Thank you, Kumar Swami. Bridget, thank you for being on the call, Bridget. Rajatnam, Girish and Amma, Rajendra, Sanjay Das, Motkula Anand, Ashok Chotwani, Ajitek, Ashok Maheshwari, Veena, Gautam, Ruchika Singh, Surinder Goyal, Kaumudi, Kishan, Hitkari, Rekha, Elizabeth, Kavita. Thank you all for being on the call. Avinash, for your questions. Gurudev, please join us every day if possible. Ravindran, we are on this every day. Thank you, Chan and Krishna Sharma and Mr. Budrani and Selvaraj and Samita Gupta and Shruti, Sunita, Karan Singh, Shilpa, Sneha, Dimple Shetty, Monica, Prashant, Rupa, Kiran, Niharika, Kiran Kathuria, Nitya, Basu, Ria, Sachin, Nishu, Manjunath, Mona, Rimjim, Vijay, Rupali, Sanjay, and all of you. Today I took the opportunity to say thank each one of you because each of you is a divine manifestation. I thank you, I bow down to you, and look forward to you joining us at 8 every day for asking questions. I thank you.